What's up, Mortgage Coach community? It is September 3rd, so we are kicking off a new month. We just had August 2019, and I am interviewing Sean Herrero. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Dave.
So, dude, I'm pumped for this interview. I think it was about a week and a half ago. You sent me a text saying, Dave, I'm going to hit. And what was the number you're going to hit?
My number was 10. So 10 million was supposed to be the number. I went to 12, which I'm stoked on. Like, that's a first. So I'm pumped.
Well, you've been getting interviewed in this community now for probably, I think, 4 years. And I think it started off as you were more of a mentor who was, recruiting, retaining, and developing loan officers. And how long ago was it that you decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to really focus and make personal production my number one priority? How long ago was that?
That was January 1st, 2017. So I'm 30, this is my 32nd month, I guess, as an originator, which has been, it's one of those decisions where it's like, I wish I'd done it sooner. So, but it's been great. I've been doing it since January 1st, 2017. So
guys, just absorb that for a minute. There are loan officers that have been in the mortgage business for a long time that don't do 12 million in a single year. You hit 12 million in a single month. That was a milestone. And I think like literally when you started doing this, kind of going back from some of those conversations, was you were getting frustrated that people weren't following your advice, and you felt like you had this, super simple formula for success. I didn't say easy, not an easy formula, but you had a simple formula for success. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And it started off as I'm going to do it so that then everybody will follow me. And then somewhere along the line, you decide, you know what? I'm going to do it because this is how I'm going to make more money and do more lifestyle. Is that right?
Yeah. I was trying to help people do more business. That's kind of what I've done my whole career. I was a wholesale rep, and then I went to RPM Mortgage and was in business development. And if I helped originators do more volume, I made more money. It was kind of a simple equation. But if you're putting out all the effort, but no one's improving their livelihood or their lifestyle, then I make no money. So it's a lot of wasted effort. So I just got, truthfully, I just got tired of it. I just got tired of spinning my wheels. So I was like, I'll just take my own advice, do it myself, do all these things I've been saying to do, and we'll find out if it works. Well, I'll put my money where my mouth is, and we'll see if it works. And that was the big decision, January 2017, which was huge because my wife was freaked out about it because my entire livelihood has always been helping other originators. And I think my third month I did 4 million. People were like, how are you doing this? And I was like, I'm just doing what I thought you guys should do. But that was the difference. And I've just kept, like you said, I love that you said simple, not easy, because I use that all the time. I think what I do is pretty simple. No part of it's easy, but I don't like a lot of stuff. There's a handful of tools that I love. Obviously, Mortgage Coach is one of them, that just I kind of wrapped my head around and stick with.
Right. And I think that's what I love about you is you are very much an art and science guy. I mean, anybody that follows you on social media knows that this guy is a big outdoorsman. He's a photographer. I mean, you're an artist and you're a mortgage artist, but there are a few things like your CRM, which is technology, and like Mortgage Coach, and like anything that it takes to create great videos. Those are things where you take the science very seriously and you implement it really well. So let's start, before we get into some Mortgage Coach stories and specific strategies, let's just give us the quick high level. What are you doing to drive your success right now?
Everything for me has always started with purchase business. So when I started January 2017, my mom's a mortgage advisor and my best friend's a mortgage advisor. So I didn't really have the friends and family option. So it really just started all with purchase, realtor referral business. So this is the first kind of opportunity I've really had to do refinances. So all I've been doing is going back and looking at past loans to see if I can help people refinance, and using Mortgage Coach to do that, of course. I build a TCA for those right out of the gate to make sure. But that's really it. Just really kind of staying true to myself, doing what I believe. I don't believe in the numbers game thing. I think I take more of a Jerry Maguire approach when it comes to real estate agents. I want to work with people I relate to and have something in common with, and it's fun to work with. It's not about the numbers. It's a quality, not quantity game for me.
Yeah, and again, if you follow Sean, you'll know that he has a cool mortgage mobile van. So loves van life, and that's cool how you identify people based off of just who you would have fun working with. We could probably do a whole call on like, how do you net that out? And if you're listening to this and you have questions, that'll be a different interview. Put the comments down below. And what do you think you're going to do in volume for the year? Like, what do you think you're trending for 2019?
I think I should hit 60. I think I'll hit at least 60 million. I did 40 last year and I did 30 the year before. So I honestly couldn't even tell you. If you ask me what my year-to-date numbers are, I have no idea. I haven't been tracking that. I just try to stay focused, like do what I need to do today. I'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here. But I don't know what my year-to-date total is, but it should be around 60.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, killing it in all measures. And you've done it relatively quickly. And then I love that story that I had to start with purchase business. I didn't have friends and family because your best friend and your mom are in the mortgage business. So I think that's kind of a cool nuance all in itself. So let's talk about what got you to this milestone of 10 million, because I think there's two milestones. You know, everyone wants to have their first month where they close 10 loans in a single month. Usually it's like 5 million is the first milestone. Well, heck, it starts off with 2 million, 5 million. And, 10 is a pretty baller milestone that most originators never see in a single month. So walk us through like what happened so that you had this milestone this month.
Yeah, what I did is I think it's really easy to get wrapped up in reacting. So I just took, an hour every morning to go through my closed loans to see who I could help refinance. I reached out to them. Even if I just reached out to 5 people, typically that would turn at least 3 refis would come together out of that. And this started we're in September. So I guess it started in July. And then just the purchases. I think we had a late start to the purchase season this year. I feel like it was busier after the 4th of July than it was before. So I think it was good timing between rates going down and then the purchase market picking up a little later this year. But really that was kind of all I did, is I just made sure that I was available and ready to help the people I had pre-approved or could pre-approve people quickly for the realtors that I represent. And then for the refinances, it was just going through my pipeline and trying to see what opportunities there were. Because I don't know, I like to be purchase centric, but I think people always say, oh, I only do purchases. It's like, well, someone's going to refinance those clients. It might as well be us. And really, I think we're doing a disservice if we don't. We have to make sure we take care of them from start to finish.
Yeah, Jeremy Forcier said it really well, that you don't have a client for life business if you don't do refis.
Right.
And you don't really have a client for life mortgage practice if you're not servicing your clients. Like, one of the things that's going to come out in this interview is that refinancing doesn't make sense for everyone. And part of what makes Sean special, and I like to think in our community called the Mortgage Coach community that this isn't special, but he goes into the conversation not driving a result of a refi. He goes into the conversation driving, I just want to help you make an informed decision. And let's, if that ends up being a refi, cool. And if it's not, that's okay too. So how many past clients do you have, or ballpark?
Probably 100 or so. I don't know the exact number, but roughly.
And how many refis did you do the past couple of months?
I probably did. So last month I did 18 units. It was still 70% purchase. A lot of those refinances are trickling out. Like this month will be a little bit heavier on refinances, but I don't know the exact unit count. That's reasons. I'm just trying to, for me, it's help. If I just focus on helping, then the rest will fall into place. Whether I'm helping with the refi, whether I'm helping with the purchase, as long as I'm helping someone, that's all that matters.
Well, I think one note I want people to get is I know a lot of top producers that have been doing this for a long time, not like 2.5 years like you have, that have, 300, 500, over 1,000 past customers. And when you look at the number of refis they're doing, you don't have a client for life business. You're leaving so many refis on the table. And I just think it's a big mistake. You've got to kill it with purchase and stay focused, but you've got to figure out a way to optimize your refis. So I just think it's cool that with a pretty small past customer database, you've spiked like this. Let's walk through what you're doing with a mortgage coach, what your process has been. There was a a thread, a post. It'll be down below. Like if you're watching this in our Facebook group, there's a post where Cindy Ertman came up with a kind of a refi script that I posted. And then there's like, I don't know, 20 or 30 comments with, oh, I just sent them a text video and then a mortgage coach report, or, oh, I send a BombBomb video and then I do a mortgage coach report, or, oh, I do an email and then I call and then I do, I mean, so there's no right way. Well, there's a lot of right ways of doing it. What's your way? Like, what has your process for the reach out? When do you do the mortgage coach report? And then let's get into that.
Yeah. So one thing I was doing is I was trying to do mortgage coach later. And I think I talked about this the last time we hung out. I was trying to do, it's like, oh, I'm not going to invest all this time into building a TCA until I know they're committed. And it just was disingenuous. I said, I'm going to do the right thing every time. I'm just going to out of the gate create a TCA. So I'm an early riser, get up at 4 a.m. That's when I do my, what's it called when you search your database? Mining, I guess. I don't like the word mining. I don't like the word scripts, but that's when I do that. Reviewing, yeah, reviewing everything. So I'll go through, and if I see a benefit, my mind automatically goes to, does this make sense? Like if it's a quarter in rate on a small loan, is it going to make sense? It may not. So that's when I'll build the TCA, and the TCA helps me figure out if they should or shouldn't. Before, they didn't reach out to me. This is me proactively reaching out to them. So either I'm going to let them know, hey, I built this TCA for you. Just want you to know. I don't call it a TCA to them, by the way. I'm just for us.
What do you call it?
I call it a refinance guide. I call it either a digital buyer's guide or a refinance guide, and I just hyperlink that. So, sorry, what was that?
I said, boom. I like that. That's your way of positioning it. Makes lots of sense.
Yeah, I used to make the video, and just for this purpose, it's just I want to get them the information faster. So it's, hey, just did a review for you. Looks like you're in the best position. Rates are at the same levels they were when you bought your home. Things change, I'll let you know. But then they have the report so that they know they don't need to do anything. So if they get contacted by another lender, it's like, no, my guy just told me everything's good. Or they'll ask me, hey, Sean, you told me I'm good. I just got this solicitation. What do you think? So it kind of brings it back either way. But when it does make sense, it's, hey, I just did a review of your current loan. Looks like we can save you $200 a month and X $1,000 over the first 5 years. Click here to see your refinance guide. Let's go through this, Dave, when you have time. And that's kind of it. It's just kind of a generic template or script, I guess, so that I use. And it's worked.
So I want to make sure everybody caught something very special. He's doing the work, not attached to the outcome. He's delivering the value even when it doesn't make sense. And then you notice when it did make sense, he's always showing the monthly savings and the savings over 5 years. So that now you're starting to differentiate yourself from average LO. And that is what a client for life mortgage practice looks like and sounds like. So let's pull up a TCA and let's do one of each. Let's do one where it didn't make sense, what you did, and let's do one where it did make sense. And let's see how you're presenting, value without a transaction and value with by the way, immediate transaction. If you do give a TCA and it doesn't make sense, you're still going to get another loan. It's just you're playing the long game.
Yeah, so we'll start with that. So the first one we'll look at this isn't it. Basically, this was someone who was referred to me. And, I told her, I go, just quickly, I was on the phone with her, going through it, building the TCA as we were on the phone. And I said, oh, it looks like you'll save like $60 a month. And she's like, well, $60 isn't nothing. I'm like, yeah, but $60 a month. I was like, it'd be very easy for me to sell you on. You're going to save $60 a month. You're not going to pay any fees out of pocket. How does that sound? And you'd be like, sign me up. But that's just in my opinion, it's not the right thing to do. So what I did is I built out her current loan compared to what a refinance would be. You can see here that I was building the closing costs. I think there was a little bit of a lender credit here, but I was building the remaining closing costs into her loan amount. And then she was going to save $64 a month. And what I showed her was if you stay in the house for less than 33 months, you shouldn't refinance because you're not going to recoup your costs. If anyone tells you a mortgage is free, they're lying to you. It costs money to refinance. They're either building it into your interest rate or they're building it into your loan amount or you're paying it out of pocket. I don't know any other way to make money go away other than those three ways. So I was like, if you're going to be in this, your break-even point is 33 months away. So if you're going to sell sooner than that, don't refinance. But if you're going to be there at least that long or longer, then it 100% makes sense, as long as $64 is worth it. And she goes, thanks so much. We kind of went through it, and she held off. She decided, because the reason I did that is she told me she was going to sell in the next 2 years. So if you're going to sell, then don't refinance, because you're going to lose money. And that's where we left it. Of course, if rates go down further, I'll reach out to her again. But that was a referral from a real estate agent. And I don't know, I think creating that transparency will create more referrals down the road. I hope that's kind of what, and if it does, it's still the right thing to do.
Yeah. Did you let your realtor know that you did this checkup and that this person was planning on doing something in 2 years?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I talked to her. We held off because she might sell. So look out for that opportunity later.
So huge thing, guys. Make sure you're taking that extra minute after you deliver this. It didn't make sense, or you got some insight about a mutual past client. You're passing that on. That's hugely valuable to a realtor. What loan officer does that? Hugely differentiates you. So don't miss that move that Sean did. So let's do anything else on that before we get to the one where it did make sense.
No, that was it. That was just the first. It was great because as we were talking through it, I was like, man, I could be the sales guy if I want to and pitch her on $60 a month savings, no fees out of pocket. I'll send you the online application. We'll get started. And I'm sure she would have said yes. I'm sure of that. Just wasn't the right thing to do. So I like going this route better. So I'll jump into the other one.
I'll tell you when I see it. Boom.
Got it? Okay, cool. So this is a couple that I helped buy a home in Silicon Valley 2 years ago. And same thing, did a review, reached out because one of his friends is refinancing into an ARM. And I'm not traditionally a huge fan of ARMs just because of what we've seen. But right now with rates dropping and probably continuing to, I like them a little bit better. So he asked about that. So what I wanted to build out is all of his options. And of course, engineer at Apple. So he wants to look at all the data as much as possible to make an informed decision. And so what we were doing is I use TCAs as we just kind of get, it's a funnel of information, I guess, is the best way for me to put it. So as people ask questions, I illustrate the answers. So we looked at, step one, does a refinance make sense? We'll start there. So if you're at 3.8 now and you can get to 3.6, you're going to save $770 a month just because the rate's going down and you have, he's been paying his principal down dramatically. So it's like you're going to save money because of those two things. But if you're paying down principal like that, does the refinance make sense, right? So if you're applying that much, what are your plans? What are your goals for the future? So we started there, and then he asked me about the ARM. And we kind of walked through that. What I do with ARMs, I always send someone a historical chart of the 1-year LIBOR so that I want them to understand what it's going to look like if and when they get into the adjustable period. I don't want anyone to call me 7 years from now and say, Sean, you never told me it worked like this. So I walked him through that. I built out the option. And then his concern was starting over. So he's, looking at doing the refinance on a 30-year fixed. I only have 25 and a half years left on my mortgage with the way I've been paying it down. So he's already shaved 3 years off. I don't want to start over necessarily. He said, okay, well, just keep doing what you're doing now. Make your same payment. And you're going to shave a year off, right? So if you're comfortable making the payment you currently have now, and you are because you're paying more than that, if you refinance, take advantage of the lower rate, you're still going to shave another year off of your mortgage. So that option makes sense as well. And this, then we started the same day. He sent me all his documents immediately, of course, and we were off to the races.
Yeah, and if you really break down the numbers, guys, over time, this is like a $65,000, almost a $70,000 savings in time. So, I hope the takeaways is that the way you differentiate from your average loan officer, call it your transactional loan officer, you show the monthly difference, you show the cost over time, always show either a prepay or an asset accumulation strategy. We call that a finance strategy. And what you're doing is you're amplifying the value you bring to the family. You're radically amplifying the trust and the advice that you're bringing to the client. And everybody you compete with, they're loan officers that do transactions. You're an advisor that helps people build wealth with real estate faster. So, Sean, I wanted to do this interview because the way you just do things, you kind of like, it's simple. It's not easy to be consistent. And then I really wanted to celebrate your success, man. I have, you and I have known each other for years. I've, interviewed you and been friends with you through this, this journey that you've had. And it's great to see you doing business in a van. I don't know how you have so much time to be outside fishing, climbing, running, anybody that follows Sean on social media, it's like, does this guy work? But you figure out how to balance it, and then, to hit over, 10 million in production in a single month. That's huge, brother. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. No, I got excited because there was a moment of realization where I just have my head down and work. And then I was adding up the transactions in my head. I was like, wait a sec. I think I'm going to hit 10 million this month. I got super excited because January 2017, that was the number. It was, I'm going to do 10 million a month. And I didn't know how long it'd take to get there, but I'm stoked. It's been fun.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening to this and you want to hear more interviews with Sean, I'll put a few down below. You can also take his name, be in our YouTube channel, put his name in search in our channel, watch some of the other interviews that we've done. If you have questions for Sean, post them down below. I'm sure he'll answer them. If I get enough questions, we'll do another interview. Sean, any last words of wisdom you want to give to everybody before we wrap it up?
I think what I learned with this is I think doing TCAs is time consuming, and there are faster ways to speak with people. But I don't think I would have done the volume I did if I didn't take this route. I think I would have done less because I wouldn't have been providing as much value and transparency. So really, it's when you have that moment of, I'm going to skip a TCA because it's going to take too long to build, let that be your trigger of why you should finish it, because I just won't work without it anymore. So that's the only thing I can leave with.
And for anyone that has just so many past clients that you personally don't have the time to do it, staff for it. Your past customer database is gold. And if you have to staff to support that past customer database, then that's what you need to do. If you need to delegate, staff, but every family benefits from a total cost analysis at the point of sale with the purchase. And every client and every family benefits by an annual review. Getting that total cost analysis so that they're managing their mortgage, they benefit. And most loan officers either aren't staffed to do it, they're not trained to do it, and you will close more business, you will make more money, and you will have more fun if you do that. So hopefully that's a takeaway for everybody. If you got value from this, give it a like. If you loved it, love it. Share it with your mortgage friends. Sean, will you give me those links that we can put down below so down below, if you want to see the actual sample links and really see how Sean's presenting it, click on them. Sean Herrero, refi links down below. Take care, everybody. And Sean, looking forward to the next interview, bro.
All right, brother,
what's the next milestone, man?
I think I'm trying to do consistency. I think I'll do 12 again this month is the goal. So now that I've gotten here, I have to keep going. So
becoming a $10 million a month man.
Yeah.
So 100 million in annual production is now the new bullseye.
100%. That'd be great.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
All right, you guys. Thank you.